I want to thank you for scheduling this important hearing and for last week's subcommittee roundtable with nonprofit groups which provide important background information for today's hearing. We could deny what we're seeing take place, but there's no question that the rise in anti-Semitic behavior has increased. Freedom of religion means freedom of belief and the freedom of expression of those beliefs. This cornerstone constitutional freedom is violated when people cannot gather safely in places of worship, community centers, or even their own house. It is also violated if they are threatened at work, on a college campus, or during community activities. In the past 14 months, since a white supremacist committed the most lethal attack targeting Jews in the United States at the Tree of Life Synagogue, there have been multiple deadly anti-Semitic attacks in the U.S., including San Diego, Jersey City, Rockland County, New York. In fact, no community is immune to the threat of anti-Semitism, and that unfortunately includes areas I represent. Last year, weeks before Rosh Hashanah, anti-Semitic propaganda was found at Temple Emmanuel in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and later, a car was damaged by gunfire outside the Chabad Jewish Student Center at Elon University as services marking the end of Yom Kippur were taking place. Unfortunately, anti-Semitic attacks in the U.S. have been rising, and the trends are similar across Europe. I can remember after the shooting in Pennsylvania on that Saturday morning, I found myself at Temple Emmanuel in Greensboro, just wanting to reach out to my friends there and couldn't have been more welcomed by Rabbi Fred Gutman and Rabbi Andy Coren. Anti-Semitic incidents in the United States demonstrate a variety of ideological motivations. The attacker at the Tree of Life Synagogue was motivated by white nationalist beliefs. The Jersey City attackers were connected to the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. And no clear ideological motivation has been identified for several of the attacks and slurs against Jews in New York City during this past month of December. An attack on any faith is an attack on the faithful. Violent attacks and hate crimes must explicitly and soundly be condemned. There is no one solution to combat faith-based attacks, but there is more that can be done by the government, the private sector, and the faith-based community. We have a very distinguished panel of witnesses here today who will offer a number of recommendations, including additional nonprofit security grant funding, a greater role for fusion centers, more information sharing, and an end to the anti-Semitic boycott, divestment, and sanctions, or BDS movement. I look forward to hearing more about these and other recommendations from all of the witnesses. Finally, the broad range of ideologically based hatred in our society's continued obsession with violence has left too many scars across our country. I remain fully committed to an open, bipartisan discussion about domestic terrorism, hateful ideologies, and meaningful recommendations for addressing these threats to our homeland. We must continue to work in a bipartisan fashion to help solve the complex problems associated with not only anti-Semitism, but the proliferation of hate and intolerance. I want to thank the witnesses, along with the chairman, for appearing here today, and I yield back the balance of my time.